Hi, and thank you for joining me today on Glen's Retro Show. I happened to go into a Staples today. I go in there once in a while. Sometimes you find something you haven't seen before, cheap, maybe a USB thumb drive on sale or something like that. But I noticed they had a little kiosk set up, and they've sold these before. So they had Atari flashbacks and Sega flashbacks there. A little bit on the high end as far as price goes. But sometimes they have other things there as well. And they've sold DreamGear in the past, and the 201 or 301. I have converted some of those into Raspberry Pi units, and for that they're pretty cool. As they were with 200 or 300 games in there, they were usually Java games. They weren't very exciting. Sometimes you could find something in there that's fun, something that was almost like, you know, a game like Mad Trax or Mappy you can find on those games. But for the most part, the majority of the games were just absolute garbage. But I noticed there today they had something new from DreamGear, and it's another 301, which you can see right here. But this actually has some Data East games on there. Now it says 300 games, but I highly doubt all of them are from Data East. Now I haven't really known much about this. I do know that My Arcade DreamGear is working on little mini consoles, which a lot of people are getting excited over at E3. They look like little mini arcade machines that have a Burger Time in there, or Kung Fu, or something along those lines.
Body Champ, and look at that artwork. We've worked very closely with Data East to make sure that we kind of create these in a very authentic style. You can see it's playing right there. And we'll have more great titles. Some others that are going to come out. This is a little bit bigger version. This is a 10-inch version. You can see that this is Burger Time.
And they actually have some that are actually 10 or 12 inches in size, which I'm not going to lie, I'm probably going to get one, bad or not. They just look cool enough where it would go back here anyway. But it looks like this may be running the same type of games that'll have. Again, I don't know, because I don't know much about it. But I saw this, figure I'm going to pick it up, and we'll do a little review of it here. Again, I haven't tried it. They show Joe and Mac, Bad Dudes, Burger Time on here. And it's got a little metal flap on here with some magnets, which is kind of nice when they do that. So you can flip it open here, and you can see the console. Now, my buddy Willie over at Arcade USA has the sister product of this, where it looks like a little Game Boy. I didn't see that, but he's going to do a review of that one, and I'm going to do a review of this one that looks like a little, well, almost like a PSP of kinds. And they're touting Bad Dudes, Burger Time, Joe and Mac, games I really enjoy, Heavy Barrel, Breakthrough, and Karate Champ. So, let's take a look at this and see how it is. I really have no idea. Again, I wasn't a big fan of the other ones until I converted to Retro Pi units. But this was $24. Now, I think the one Willie's going to review that looks like the little Game Boy was $34. But this one was $24. It runs on 4 AAA batteries. And, well, let's take a look at this, see how it is. Come on, let's go see. Okay, you can see here's the box. My Arcade Pixel Player with Data East Classics on there. The box itself is pretty nice. Actually, all the boxes are always kind of nice. Nice cardboard stock. Nice gloss, good artwork. Not a lot of information though on the box. Basically just says over 300 games built in, including Data East Classics, full color screen, 8-bit game system, front speak with a volume control, 3.5mm headphone jack, powered by either 3 AAA batteries, not included, or a micro USB, which is kind of good. It's not a custom power pack required. Includes Pixel Player and a user guide. Again, you know, box is pretty nice. It's got a nice magnetic flap here, which lets you see the console itself. And the console looks kind of neat. A little 8-bit theme going on, a little blocky. Screen looks nice and large. And, well, let's take a look at the console. So I actually opened it on this side already. Let's slide this little guy out here. Nope, there's something there. Ah, the instructions. Okay, so put that down there. And the user guide right here. Some basic information where the AV out jacks are. Most likely the cable is not included, but it's usually a standard AV out phono jack cable. Volume up and down, 5-volt in, the on-off switch, direction pad, reset button, start, A and B buttons, how to move the battery cover on the back, and basically some information how to set it up, low battery warning. Don't want to leave your batteries in there and cause some acid. You definitely don't want to do that. And just warranty information. So, and then it goes into other languages. So they don't actually show you here at least not so far, what games are included in the console, and it looks like it does not. So the only way to find out what games are on it are to turn this little sucker on. So I'll see if we can get this out of the plastic here. And it's kind of what you would expect. It's not very heavy. The plastic, I guess the plastic's okay. It reminds me almost of a 3D printed plastic, but it's obviously not. But it does seem like a very brittle plastic. So this is something, to me, if you're left in the sun for a long time, it might get a little more brittle and break on you. The AV out jack is over here. Your aux out over here. Little brightness for, I assume, the screen there, or the games. 5-volt in, and your on-off. The buttons have I'd say a decent pushback on it. Same with the start and select. D-pad feels, honestly, it feels a little mushy. It actually feels very mushy to me. The buttons feel better, but the direction pad to me feels very mushy. Then we have on the back here, we have a serial number and the 2 spots for our batteries. Let's see if we can get these open here without destroying this thing. So we see our battery compartments, and we need to put in some AAA batteries, which I do happen to have a couple. Now I didn't have some brand new ones here, so let's hope the screen doesn't go goofy. If it does, I'll get a 5-volt USB adapter. And you never want to do what I'm doing here, which is mixing alkaline and non-alkaline batteries. But unfortunately, that is all I had, so it's never recommended to do that, but I guess I'm doing it right now. So we're going to put our covers back on. Alright, oh, we got to peel off this little protective cover here, which, if you can see, definitely shows like a cheap, Java style game, which I'm sure this has. Mostly that's what's going to be on here. But let me get this thing off here. These things never want to come off too easy. It's like, you don't need to protect a tank. Here we go. Oh, it doesn't want to come off. Come on, come on, come on. Keep coming. Whew. That was not the easiest thing in the world. But we have a nice screen there. We want to turn the power on. So the volume didn't get very loud. Okay, well, it's not the loudest, that's for sure. Let's see what games we got. Bad Dudes, Breakthrough, Caveman Ninja, Heavy Barrel, Side Pocket, so some Java games, and there's Karate Champ, Burger Time, Curling Monkeys. I'm going to scroll through these real quick, and you can always pause the video later. See if I get this a little better in the center of the screen there. So, in looking at this, I can tell you right now, it's pretty much what they have on their other 200 and 300 ones. Obviously with some data-aced games in there, which were in the beginning. And I can definitely confirm the joypad is definitely a mushy feel. I mean, it does a job, but it's not crisp in any way, shape, or form. Oh, we hit hole 56 so far of 300. And as you can see, these are just basically nothing games on here other than those Data East games so far. So basically, if you're buying this, hopefully you're gonna like one of those games like Joe and Mac, Burger Time, Bad Dudes. These other games on here, I can tell you, you're probably never gonna play any of these. I will say that in comparison to its 201 and 301 brother, it does have a bigger screen. Although those two at least look like arcade machines. And I know Willie at Arcade USA is going to review the Game Boy version of this. Now what I'm going to do is when I get to the bottom of this screen, my batteries, I think, I'm not going to have, you can see this flashing. Most likely that's due to the batteries. So I'm going to just put on the external 5-volt power supply and see if it gets any better. So hold on one second. I'm going to go down, 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 and let's go! Okay, so you can see I'm plugged in with a regular cell phone 5-volt charger, and the screen flickering has stopped. So those other batteries are definitely at the end of their road. Of course, I'm back at the beginning here, so I'm going to skip ahead if I can. Alright, this is about where we were before. And I don't think the volume's going to go up anymore. The volume is definitely not as loud as the 200 and 301 from DreamGear. I mean, it's adequate in a quiet room, but if there's any noise in this room at all, it would definitely drown out the speaker. Of course, you could always use headphones, but again, there are other units definitely had more audio amplification, if you will. And again, there's a whole ton of games on here. Most likely nothing you're ever going to play. And again, so far the console itself, I mean, it's kind of neat looking. I think Willie got the better of them. That looks like a Game Boy. The plastic definitely feels on the very inexpensive side of plastic. And again, the buttons, I don't want to press them yet because I probably select the game. But they did feel fine when I pressed them down before. The power button felt okay. The volume up and down buttons, again, feel a little mushy, and the direction pad definitely feels mushy. Well, we got into the 200s now, fellas, so we're making our way. And again, when you have all these games on here, you're going to have to figure them out for yourself, because the manual makes no mention of any of these games, and what your A button does, your B button does, controls for jumping. So I guess that'll be half the fun, just figuring out how to actually play any of these games with the controls. But you know, if you sit down for a minute on each game, I'm sure it's not going to be rocket science. But I'll definitely say for $24 already, I'm not very impressed. Now, when this comes out as little arcade machines, DreamGear is going to be making some small little arcade units, and actually larger ones, I think up to 12-inch screens, if I'm not mistaken. And again, that would make up, at least for the look of the console, just to sit on your desk and have one, maybe 2 games built in. This right here, I'm going to be honest, I haven't played the good games on here yet, but as far as this itself, I'm not impressed at all. Definitely $24, I'm not impressed. If this goes on sale for like, $9, like the Basic Fun, Pac-Man, and Space Invaders, then maybe. Because I'm sure the Data East games will make it kind of worth it. But other than that, it's really unimpressive, uninspiring. The screen itself, I will say, it's a bright screen when it's got enough power. You know, have dead batteries in it. But the sound, although clear, is on the low side. And I definitely think that the direction pad being mushy may interfere with some gameplay. So here we go to the end. 308 total games, probably a good 300 of them totally worthless. So let's see if we can pick one of these. Let's go into Bad Dudes. Here we go. Good old Data East presents. We got some Bad Dudes. Oh my God, not the president. He's been kidnapped? By ninjas? Am I bad enough? Hey man, this is Glen's retro show, man. I'm bad enough. Now I'm gonna be honest, I was never played Bad Dudes when it was originally released. So I can't tell you if the choppiness I'm seeing here is normal. I'm gonna bet this is probably a port of like a Nintendo, like the NES, versus being an actual arcade port. So again, if you had this in an arcade machine that they're starting to show that they're going to be releasing, you'd probably make up for this. But this definitely looks like an NES port and not the arcade port. The sound, I guess, is okay. The graphics definitely remind me of the NES. And again, I've never played this one in actuality, so I can't tell you for definitively if this is coming from the NES. But it's my hunch. And again, the joystick is, or the joypad I should say, it does work, but it's definitely mushy. The gameplay itself is pretty choppy. So I'm betting it's an NES port. The A button seems pretty responsive. The B button seems pretty responsive, but I wouldn't say it's sluggish, but you can definitely see it's choppy. And again, I can't say whether or not that's I'll probably say it's not the arcade machine, for sure. Let's try a different game here now. I'm not sure how you reset back. I guess that button will do it. There we go. So I'm going to try Breakthrough. Again, I've never even played Breakthrough either. So it's my first time trying it out with you guys here. And I'm not sure how well the sound comes through. That's because it's not very loud. Okay, car. I got some shooting, which is also great. Nothing like having a car that shoots. And I can pull wheelies, or jump a little bit. All right. I can speed up, and I can slow down. Again, since I have not played this in the arcade, I'm just taking a guess here, but this definitely looks to me like it's a port of an NES game, not an actual arcade game. And I'm going to still say I'm pretty unimpressed with this. Oops. Well, not doing too good here. But I guess if you're a fan of these games, it might be okay. But in my opinion, I would wait for the ones that look like the arcade machine. I'm pretty unimpressed with this for $24 as it is. Caveman Ninja, also known as Joe and Mac. That's what I knew it as when I played it on the Super Nintendo. And again, the sound is really low. That's maxed out volume. Now some Neanderthals are coming in to steal my women. I'm not going to be too happy about that. And I can guarantee you again, this is not in any way, shape, or form the arcade port of Joe and Mac. And it's definitely not the Super Nintendo port of Joe and Mac, because I know that very well. So my guess is going to be this is an NES port of Joe and Mac. Okay, the A and B buttons once again are pretty responsive. The joypad, again, just feels very mushy. It's stiff. And again, I'm not feeling this game right now. I'm saying I would probably so far not pay $24 to buy this. And this is also not something I'd even probably want to convert into a Raspberry Pi because it doesn't look like anything. If I got the one that looks like the consoles, that would be a lot better. So far I'm saying this is probably going to end up going back to Staples where I purchased this. I'm not impressed, and I've hardly ever returned anything. Just because the games they're okay, but you know, if you have a Nintendo, you already got the games. And the look of the console, alright, it's okay, but if I had some good games on it, I'd keep it. But right now, I'm not feeling it. There's also heavy barrel. Again, I can tell by the sound, it's definitely a port of an NES game. Again, this is very light in the hands. I wouldn't say it's flimsy, but the plastic just doesn't feel like a really quality plastic. And there are some ones that do, like the Basic Fun Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Centipede, Q*bert. Those plastics felt really nice. Okay, this is definitely a Nintendo game. I got some grenades, perfect timing. No, it's, I mean, everything responds. I definitely, again, I'm complaining about this joypad, but it definitely feels mushy to me. The buttons have at least a good bounce back when you press them. But again, at least in this version, it's not a keeper in my opinion. This would probably be something, you know, I would have bought like I did, take it home, be real excited about maybe playing some really cool games on it, but not enough for $24 in my opinion. You know, you can see the graphics, it's definitely, you know, it's okay. It's definitely an NES game. The colors are nice, I'll give it that. The sound sounds good for as low as it is. And I'm just saying for $24, I would expect a little bit more. I know they probably had to pay some licensing fees to Data East to get these on there. But in this particular form factor, and being what it is, I would pass on this. Let's go to Karate Champ, and then we'll try some Burger Time. Here we go. That's right in the face, brother. Hoo-yah! 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 What the heck am I doing? Oh, back of the head. Alright, fine, you got me. Oh, now he's kicking my butt, sure. Again, this I have played before, so I would still say that the frame rate is definitely not there for an NES port either. But again, it's not exciting. The controls are just not what they should be. Again, the screen does look great. I'm not going to say that it doesn't. But the sound is just really low. You always want to be trying to get more out of it, and you just ain't getting it. Let's go try Burger Time and see how that one works out. Here we go, Burger Time. Absolutely, I can tell you for sure it's from the NES, and you really got to press on the joypad to get them to go. So I think it's pretty I can say pretty confidently these are coming from the Nintendo NES. And you know, Burger Time's a good game, but I'm gonna tell you already, the joystick really ruins it because it just feels off. It doesn't feel good. We are pressing it for the directions. But the pepper button works fine. And again, that's maxed out sound. So, in my opinion right now, is this worth $24? No. I'll probably bring this back and wait for it to go on sale for a couple bucks. Or actually get what Willie has, make it look like the little Game Boy. And even then, maybe convert it to a Raspberry Pi. Disappointed. I'll definitely say that. If the sound's a little bit louder, that would help. If the plastic felt a little more substantial, that would help. I guess if you don't have any of these and you get it on sale, I don't think this is worth $24 in my opinion. Again, now going back to when I was a kid, for something like this I would have killed for. But times have changed, technology's gotten a little bit better, and I expect a little bit more from the handheld. So, for anyone watching the video and you see one of these at $24, this one I would probably pass. If you get it cheaper, or someone gives it to you as a gift, I guess that's okay. It's very light, but again, the screen is good. You can play this on a big TV set with AV out, but you have to buy a separate cable. It doesn't come with it. I guess that's all I can say about it. This is the first time I think I've gotten something like this that I've got and go, you know what? I'll probably send this one back. I don't need to keep this. It's just not good enough. Again, they're going to be making actual arcade machines that with these games in it, and that to me would be a sell because of the machine itself. And this form factor, yeah, it's kind of neat for looking at for a minute. It's retro, you know, but yeah, it's definitely not, in my opinion, worth 25 bucks at all. If you love these games, maybe. If you play them on the NES and you want to take them with you, okay, I guess I can understand that. But as far as my opinion, you see these in the store at $24, I'd pass. If you can find them cheaper, maybe. But that's all I have to say about it. I'm really unimpressed with it. It's kind of nice to have some, you know, sanctioned licensed games on here. And you know, this, if we can see the screen, it looks good. But I just don't think it's worth the money that they're asking for it. Now there was a little switch here. Now this is just a power on. You can see it, and they put some lights under the buttons. That's all that really is. So just draining more of your battery there, but it's still on. Well, don't really have much more to say about that. I reviewed the DreamGear 201 and 301, and I like them just because they looked like little arcade machines that had some games on it. So I was like, okay, you know, you put it on your desk. At least it looks like a little arcade machine. And then I converted a couple to Raspberry Pi, so they play the real arcade machines, and they look like arcade machines. This particular thing, guys, I'm going to tell you, not a fan. So I'd give this one maybe a C- to a D+, especially at that price point. So that's all I have to say about it. Not a fan. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, though, and I hope it helped you maybe save a couple bucks. Again, if you find it cheap enough, go for it. But for what this is right now, I'm definitely not a fan, and this will probably get sent back to Staples. That's it. Have nothing more to say about it, guys. I do thank you for watching, and do stay tuned for other videos. Remember, everyone, game on.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.